Yo, what it do? It's your boy, Yo Babe. Say what's up? Records Lab Production back at you with another tutorial. You already know we in the waveform now, man. Traction. I know I left y'all hanging for a second, man, but I've been making a lot of new material, man. I've been doing a lot of work. So, and I also was with the rest of the devs doing, you know what they call it, man, when you trying it out and all that, man. The beta. I was on the beta testing crew. So, ins and outs. Uh, I'm pretty familiar with a lot of it. Some of the things I might have lost by the wayside and forgot. So I still need to be getting, you know what I mean, a little touch up here and there with a couple things too, man. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of new things in the waveform, man. They slid in a lot of little things. So I'm gonna talk about a couple things on here. What this basically is gonna be a three-part video. This video is gonna be how to construct uh, complex mixes, but simple at the same time in your edit. And I'm gonna give up a couple tricks and tips that I do that speed up your process and all them things like that. So what we gonna jump into first. All right, the first thing that you would need to know in getting started in one of my type of mixes is first thing I'm gonna do is I build my songs off ideas. So this song came off of uh, me thinking up the hook first, right? So the hook was thought up first, and everything else was built around that. So then it went to drums. Well, when how I'm gonna do my kick, my snare, and my hats, and then it went to me adding a bass line and then my keys. And you can see it's only sifts. It's only two sifts. So the beat is very simple, but nowhere near simple. It's simple in the sense of the patterns that it is, but it's a lot of complex things going on around, right? So we got the bass I got going left and right, and then I got another different bass right here that you can see. But all this bass is the bass is flipped, so I flipped the polarity. I recorded these two basses into what I will have for all my tracks. So I got a SIF folder, Lapsary folder for you for a second. Show you. Okay, so we got a SIF folder, bass folder, Vox folder is all my vocals. And you will see this folder here called the Sums folder. This is not a sub folder. I normally be going straight out to a sub, but this is my new method, right? So it's basically this two subs now to me. So what I do, I sum everything up from here, sum everything up here. So it's basically on my tracks, you see on my main track, they trim, all them trim down, sign around 11 dB, stuff like that, all different. But this was done on the tracks to sound, to all these adjustments here was done to how I like the sound. Not worrying about a dB and I'm in or none of that. So before I would get started with any of that, if you would notice here, what I'm in 4 by 8. So what that do is my click track is gonna be faster because I'm in a different time signature than the 4 by 4 scale. So my click track not gonna be click, 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 click. My click track is gonna click, 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 click. It's going faster. So it's speeding up the time signature. You can turn on triplets if you want. So you're gonna hear the triplets in it too. Okay, so then key ingredient for using the magic that's in traction now is making sure you pick a scale and your key. Set these right here when you're going to. So when will you want to set this? For people who don't not familiar with scaling or none of that type of stuff, what I would tell you is how you want to do this is go ahead and make your beat. Start with your drums or whatever you know. If you started with the drums, then you will go once you create your first SIF sound, whatever you do, because a lot of times your SIF going, if you like me, you just creating off air. It's gonna be created off air. So you're gonna play something and you like that and you ready to do it. You know what I mean? If you're not music savvy, so if you like me, like I ain't into reading all the music and all that. I understand what the notes mean and all that. But I'm saying I ain't into reading the music. So With that being said, when you play your first one, basically your scale gonna be how far you go the MIDI, up the MIDI keyboard. Let me see. I think I got no MIDI tracks left. I bounced everything. But these all came from MIDI. One of these came from MIDI. My music, it was all MIDI at first, but this is bounced already. This is stems. So basically, like I say, you'll do your first track, and whatever your first key start on, whatever your first key start on, the top one, the top key, your top note, and your MIDI clip, you want to make sure that you go set that to what your key is, whatever your key. So you can see my key is C sharp. So basically, that's it. And then, so like I said, I got my sums folder. So basically, this is my main beta part of getting the main part of getting my mix together tight. It's happening in the sums folder. Then my sums folder is output into sub folder. Each one is going to where they're supposed to go on their destination. So there's only one drum sum. So the drum sum going here. There's only one bass sum is going here. There's only one synth sum is going here. But on my vocal sum, it's a couple vocal sums. So you'll see I got hook add center sum, hook sum, harmony vox sum, verse sum, verse back vox sum, and this back vox 2. So it's a couple sums for my vocal. So you can see it was a lot of summing going on before I'm even sending to my sub. So all these vocals is getting sent to the sub, except for the harmony one. My harmony vox sum right here. This harmony vox sum is going straight out to my aux through. Now, this is the new magic that I want to explain right quick. I know this probably boring for these first couple minutes because good 7 minutes, 8 minutes, it's gonna be about 10, but you're gonna get a lot of good stuff right here. So this is my aux through. So if you can see right here, I got a send plugin on here. And what I'm doing is I'm only using one send, and then what this do is a lot of times you go put your send on your track already at the track. You don't want your effects to start happening that early in the mix. I mean, that's at least in my mixes. You know what I mean? I don't know other people's mixes, but I don't be wanting my effects to happen this early, right? Like up here, if I put a send on the kicks up here, right? Most of the time, I don't want to send right here. I'm gonna have to do more work to it. You're gonna have to go do so much work to the effect, to affecting it, than what you would have to do instead of you running it all the way through your whole channel. So this is basically my aux through is before my master fader. So it's the last thing before my master fader. Everything goes through my aux through except my aux sub, because sending my aux sub back through the aux through will be sending it back through. That's a loop. So I don't need to send this to my aux through. That wouldn't make no sense. So I got my aux sub. My aux sub going straight to my master fader. So we got my master fader right here. Aux sub going straight to the master fader. Aux through is going to the master fader. See, going to the master fader. So this send plugin is going to a return. And the return is going to my returns inside of my aux folder. It is all my returns inside of one folder. I'm only using one send to make my returns happen for my whole edit. That easy. Boom. And like I say, this is after all the processing been done. So I'm gonna get better results on doing my delay and reverb. It's gonna work better for me. I mean, for you, it might work the way you like it. I mean, and sometimes it's gonna call for you to go back into the edit. You might want it more dry when you're working with it, but not me. I'd rather work with it that way. So once this is done, now don't get discouraged and think at any point in time that you still can't do the regular aux method. So if anything else you feel you want to add, so you want to add something or change things or whatever and things like that, you can easily go do it. So in a lot of my mixes, I might still come parallel the drums in the aux right here. Boom, because it might need it. It might need that weight. So I would just add another track, parallel the drums, make another send, and then where I was send from though, the the closest I can get to the last place where I can get it, the kick from. So it will be. I think I didn't though. I don't got a. Yeah, I do. See, this ain't even in the what you call them. See, this supposed to be in there. Down. Let's see. I know I had one. All right, my kick sum, right? So on my kick sum, this way I will put if I want to parallel my drum, parallel my kick. I mean, you know what I mean. I do it right here. Boom. Put the sim right here on the back. Put my return inside of my aux folder. Create a new track. Put my return inside of here. Turn two. So now I will have my sync coming on right here. This is the closest point I can get to where I just be getting the kick, the last point. So I will put it here. After it been all processed, all three kicks. See, all three kicks will be then came through. These all a left and a right kick, and this is a kick I created. You wouldn't believe what this kick is. This kick is basically uh, it's a word in my vocals. When I went to use the slow down tool on the clip, this right here, when you turn it to slow down, I went to use that, and man, it made a it happened. It was like you hear a pop in your song. It was kept coming back like a pop. But when I was hearing it, I was like, damn, it sounds good with the bass, like it was hitting with the kick drum, and I'm gonna let you hear it. This sound is uh, a word being slowed down, and I guess it when it slowed it down so fast or something, I don't know what happened, right? But it made that. So I copied it and put it and made it a kick. That's where I got this third kick from. So my third kick track, and then I put them all together. This the beat. All right. So and then this what I'm using to get some variation sometimes, so you can see it doesn't hit every time. So you see it's hitting right here, but it don't hit right here when the kick hit right there. See when it hit right here, it's not hitting. So what this do is this create that roll effect, that ride making the bass feel is moving. You feel the bass moving. First thing, that's first thing for making my bass move. Make my bass move. Second thing to make my bass move even more is left and right in it, and uh, putting the compression EQ separately on each one. And this right here is magic. I can't even explain it. Now I do this I'm into this so much now that honestly, like so plugins that let me left and right. Now I don't do nothing link no more. I don't like linking no more. I swear to you that this is real. Doing everything separate because you got to think like when they was working on it on the desks, every track was mono. All tracks was mono. Every track was coming in one line. Mostly all the tracks was mono. You had to make a stereo track, a stereo bus. You had to make them. You had to create it. So with this, I'm using this same old method, and some things this always work, man. It always work, yeah, and it's real. And so I like the Scarlett EQ, Scarlett compressor. Now these that turn back into they've been a go-to for me, like, but now they didn't really turn back into my go-to again. But remember what go-to mean, y'all. Go-to mean only try it first. But if you starting off an edit with it, it's no way it won't work because you saying you already locked in and saying This is thinking of it as a console. Once you locked in and said you're using the SSL console, anything that's not working through the SSL console, you're doing something wrong, and that need to be fixed. So once I say, all right, this gonna be my EQ and compressor for, to start off with on early track to get the sound I want. Anything that's not working with this is wrong. Not the plugin is wrong. But if you didn't come in with this concept of using this plugin on every track like I'm doing, and you just want to come use it, remember go-to plugins are this called go-to because you like to go to them first, but that plugin might not be giving the color or it might not doing the performance that you want. So just remember when you're going to go grab a plugin for this bring into a moment, just remember that. Keep that in context of what you're doing. So this been my start off a project EQ and compressor right here. Two reasons I'm gonna tell you off the break. All right, the high cut, the high passing and low passing on this plugin is amazing, and only limit you to great frequencies that seem to always work for me in making my kind of music. It's working every time. Like they working. It's doing the right thing. I can turn this. See, I got this turned all the way up. I can turn this curve, the bell at the end of the cut, all the way up, and it just sounds good. You know, you could just move this to put it. So what you'll find yourself doing, like on another EQ, I might not be all the way down as far as this. I'll probably be cutting all the way up to 80 on the frequency. But on this one, I'm cutting back this far because I got an 18 dB boost, but it just create this bell that's so smooth and punchy, especially on the bass end and for kicks and stuff. It's amazing. So I like that. Then I like this compressor because it's opto style, but it can get gritty. You can make it get gritty. You can slam into this joint and it can get gritty, and I love that. And then the metering on here is superb. The metering on these plugins, like I like the red EQs that come, the new ones, but they not close. So if you missed the Scarlet ones, I'm sorry, man, but these discontinue now. But this is what I mean by old stuff can still be great. This old, but this is still so great. Like this is one of the best plugins, man. Second reason, the on and off switch on here is just right here in your face. Cut it on and on. Sound is exact. It don't got some of the plugins be having where even when you cut it on and off, whatever you done to the volume, it's still gonna be on when you cut off the plugin. I don't like that. That right there is a in the way thing. I don't like that part. They shouldn't have that. So this plugin is accurate for the cut on and off. It works fast. It's not no latency to it. So you're not right here a jump when you switch from plugin to going from on to off. It's going to just cut right off in your ear, and you're going to hear the difference that quick. Love it. That's what I'm saying. I love this for that. So and you really can get that pumping effect you want to get with the compressor, where what you really want to see when you're working your compressor on most of the time in my genre of music, I want to see this meter as it's hitting, this is going. So it's like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Once you get it to doing that, boom. And the key trick, like, so because we want punchy drums all the time with this EQ, compressor is real easy. Just start my release all the way back, pull my release all the way back, pull my attack all the way front, start my ratio where I think I want to start at. So during my mix, what I normally do is start going down in ratio as I get deeper in my mix. So say if I start off at the beginning of my kick drum, see this is at 3. I start off at 3, right? 3 to 1. So for people who don't know, it's a lot of new beginners out there. So with 3 to 1, basically this mean is for every 3 dB it take off, it's only going to put back 1 dB a gain. And that's all this mean going down the scale. So for every 10 dB it take out, it's only going to put back 1 dB a gain. That's what this mean, the ratio. That's what this is. So, but in the magic of your drums, the ratio is going to matter for basically saying how much you squashing it. That's what it's saying. So you got to pick that out off the break, how much you planning to squash, what you getting ready to do. Then you got to think about squashing with how much gain you can get back out of that sound too. So you got to remember that part, because see this gain only go but so far. So if you really want you want to squash and you really want to still get back loud, you definitely gonna need to put another plug-in behind this because I can promise you it's not enough gain left in this plug-in for you to get what you really want out of it. And squashing it should be only used for effect purposes. So if you paralleling something, you can squash it as much as you want. But in your main thing, you wouldn't want to squash. Like I said, you don't want it punchy. So it will come with your release back. And remember, unsquashed drums and punchy drums are open release. That means your release is going to get as wide as you can get it, and your attack as wide as you can get it. But you want to start from it tight and start opening it up. And then go a little too far and come back. You're going to find that sweet spot. Each time it's going to be different. I will sit here and lie to you and tell you, man, it's going to be around 10 and 20. That's bullshit. I can't tell you that. That would be a lie. Every mix going to be different. You want different things to dominate your mix. It's not going to work. And don't do that. Only do this stuff here unless you are, if you're doing sounds one by one, make sure you're rendering the track out. There's no sense in even leaving your EQ and compression on there. If you call yourself soloing tracks and you EQ and compressing, make sure you're rendering that out. Don't sit there and even leave your EQ and compression on because you may hold up CPU for nothing and you then called yourself guessing what the sound should sound like and you didn't cut and carve. That's stupid. But I ain't gonna call you stupid. You do what you want. You can think that's right. All right. But you better render that shit out because I promise you, you're going to have to EQ and compress again. There's no way you're going to get out through your whole mix without having to EQ and compress again if you solo on tracks and EQ and compress it. It's going to get stupid. So, EQ everything in context. And the slow down, if you're making beats like me, the slow down the process of EQing over and over again, don't worry about EQing nothing until you got what you think will be all your sounds, what you think you at once you at that point. Only play with your faders to make things work until once you got all your sounds. Once you got all your sounds, now find that sweet spot where it all sound the best with your faders, right? But you find that sweet spot. Find the sweet spot. Now go start working from left to right. And when I mean left to right, it's a method to the left and right. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what I mean left to right. Left to right don't have nothing to do with wherever you put these tracks. You can put these tracks wherever you want. Okay, you can put the tracks wherever you want. What I mean by left to right, in the spectrum, you want to work from left to right. So kick and bass gotta be first. Gotta get them first. You gotta get them tight first. And first way I'm gonna get them tight is with not just tight. I'm gonna get my kick and bass in one go. After I got all my sounds, I'm gonna go straight to my kick and bass first. Get to working on them. And what the first thing I want to do too, while I'm EQing them, is get the loudness of my song right there. I'm gonna get the loudness of my song right there from my kick and my bass off the break. Kicking the bass, getting the loudness of my song. So I'm gonna go to my VU meter. I'll go to my VU meter, turn this on 0, okay? And I'm gonna make sure my kick and my bass playing together that I'm not going past 0. And I'm at this time I want to be coming around 2, 3 with both of them together playing kick and bass, okay? And then at 2 and 3, and then me making sure that my snare cut through the mix, it should be all rounding out around 0 once I'm at that point, okay? Now once I'm at that point, now I know that this is kick and bass, everything hitting at 0. I'm going to turn that down again from the subs, like I say, because it's all going through the sums first. So from the subs, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit, each one of them. So once you already got your sound that you like, once you hear it and you want that sound, go get all your faders together. Once you get it, get all your faders together, even your aux fader, your sub, and drag them together. Turn down, start. Now you got to start turning things down in groups because you called yourself, found the sound you want, okay? So, but I jumped a little ahead of the gun because before you found your sound, we still going left to right. So we did a kick in the bass. So We done cleaned up everything to like 150, 150. Now we on our snare. So we at the 150, 200 on out to about 8K. We grade have to worry about that now. Snares, we grade EQ out snare. But I'm saying the start of it, the hit of the snares is here, is in this range right here. 200, 150, 200, 225. First hit sound, right? So we still there. We're gonna get our snare cutting through the track, kick, bass, snare. Boom. Once we set them three are set. Okay? Left and right, you can skip your hi-hat, you skip your crash, because them elements that you gotta make sure work last in the mix. They the things that gotta be crispy and sitting on the edges. And what we say, left or right, them the things that's sitting the most high over here. You don't gotta worry about them. Don't gotta worry about them. Now you can go to your sifts and your keys. You're gonna have to jump straight on these. Some of these gonna be down in your low. They're gonna be having some frequencies down in the low range too. They're gonna have some things going on. Keys, they gonna have things going on down here. But you got your core of your beat is the kick and the snare, man, and your bass, man. That's the core of your song every time. And then vocals, man. Everything else can be anything. So once you get your keys, they can be any of this range from 80 hertz to up, all the way up. But you want to go tackle that next. Go get your keys and sifts, all them type of sounds. Tackle them, tighten them up, make it working, and make sure you leaving room for vocals. So you want to make sure and leaving room for your vocals. You want to make sure around 250 ain't too beefed up with your music. 250, 800 to like 1500, around 2K, uh, 3K to 5K, and 8K. In them special places, you should be able to find yourself to cut through all your music in at least 2 to 3 of them spaces to get you a clean mix. You know what I mean? You should be able to get you a good boost out of them spaces because each song will be different. It might be you need a lot of weight from your voice, so you're gonna need something a lot in the 250. You know what I mean? It's gonna be different for each song. I can't tell you that every time that's gonna work. It's gonna be stupid, like I'm saying. But I'm telling you, you gotta make sure that you're leaving that room whenever once you got all your mix together in them spaces, you gotta listen to each one and see which one work better where you can cut on your sifts and stuff and all the other tracks where you can cut your EQ, do some cut set and don't hurt the sound of the music, but it's giving room to let vocals in. Where can you give it at in these areas? I say here, here, around around here. This can be a big bell in this area. Big bells be around this area. I'm saying for your vocals, you can go up. Then you got the 8K. Like sometimes, most of the time in 8K, if you got a lot of sibilants, hi hats and stuff, you ain't gonna probably be able to use your 8K because you're gonna have all your sibilants right there, your S's and your hi hats crashing at the same time. So you probably be cutting it. Like I say, it's gonna be different for each one. But these are gonna be the basic regular places you're gonna be at all the time. 165, 150 is a little you can bump or cut right there. You be needing it sometimes, a little boominess. These paces right here, I'm gonna show you the basic curve of cut. I'm gonna just do cuts. I'm gonna do only cuts right here. But this is basically it, man. In this area. This is a basic EQ curve right here. This is your basic, and at the end, let me get you a boost here because from 8K to 2.5K, you're gonna be boosting with a shelf. Shelf would turn everything up after you did your cuts or whatever. 8K to 2K. This is basically your curve right here. This it. This your EQ curve for your vocals. Not don't ever just pull this out and do this like this stupid. What I'm telling you is it's gonna always be these places. So when you coming, just search these areas. Search these areas right here. Context to the mix with the mix plan. Search these areas. Search them. See, and I like about this EQ, you don't gotta turn it up or nothing because it don't do nothing as far as the up part once you isolate it. You just isolate it. All you doing is Q. So around, boom. So what I would do is, so I would come in. I'm gonna do you a quick way of how fast I just attack it. So even if I don't use it, but so I come in, put this right here. I ain't gonna put it too far because I don't know what I need out these vocals yet. I'm here. Now let's go ahead. Bop, bop, bop. All right, so I got all my notes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, ain't that the average with the EQ? I mean, they do 5 and all that. I'm saying the normal average of the top EQs 10 to 8 bands, right? So we got 8 bands, not counting. So we got one for the high set. We know we'll do a high pass. I mean low pass too. So we got 8 bands. That's all you need. These 8 bands, we probably don't need to use all of them. So like I say, I just go put all these right here because these are the areas I already know I'm gonna need to tackle if I do have a problem. It's gonna be in these areas. It don't change. They're gonna be in these areas right here. Then once you know a vocalist, whoever he is, you wanna know where his problems occur at every time in your booth or whatever you do. So you gonna have that. So basically, the first tutorial was just to get you in the understanding of how to use it and where I'm going with my mixes. Not what you should do, but this is how I do it. So, like I say, I do left and right now, and then also each one is going to be a little different. So, see, I did this one is exact on the EQ. If I even did a compressor, different. Yeah, see, now this one is the same. It's the same left and right. Also, with my first kick, so I wanted this as much center as I can get it right here. But the trick is doing each one separate, left and right channels, EQing them separate. So, like I say, we go back. I let you hear it again. This is the mix, and on the next video, I'm gonna explain how I went through with uh, bouncing it to get it here, like what I do. So, like, already done the first EQ and compression on it, and rendered the tracks out and put it in another edit. So I'm gonna go to that one and show you that. So this is what I basically did first. So this the EQ one I done. Everything was done in context. Nothing was done by itself. No solo tracks. No none of that. Everything was done in conjunction because that's the way I like to work. And yeah, man, that's basically it right here. Basically, that's it, man. You know what I mean? Very simple. That's it. Beta. So basically, that was basically the rundown, man. So like I said, the next video I'm gonna go into the mix, the edit with just the stems. Once I done rendered these out, I got them all in there together without these first EQs and opened me up some more headroom to work with. And I'm gonna show y'all what I did in there. It's your boy Obey Say. I'm out, man. Make sure you tune in. Part 2 of the video. Peace.